So, hello and welcome to InvestorToday.ca. I'm your host, Dave Glover. InvestorToday.ca is brought to you in conjunction with RBL Communications and InvestorToday.ca. I am currently at the Chicago Resource Expo. This is October 15th, 2011, and I'm standing here with Paul Singer. Paul Singer, who is the CFO of Sika Resources, Inc. Paul, very nice to meet you.
My pleasure.
Nice to see you. Now, we met yesterday, and
yes,
we got to know each other a little bit. But let's talk to you, if we can, about Sika and your role with Sika, and maybe you can tell the viewers how Sika got started, if we could.
Yeah, Sika got started back in 1996, in November of 96. It was started by a few people who were friends, but who were involved in various parts of various industries with a lot of experience, and Kim Harris was the initiator of it. She had a lot of experience in Africa as the director of Africa for the Ontario Development Corporation.
Okay.
And when it was originally formed in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, over the years, and we were a producer in Zimbabwe, things happened that made us put us in a position that we had to go somewhere else.
Right.
And we took a look at the politics of various countries in Africa and realized both Tanzania and Ghana were the most stable out of South Africa. And we initially went into Tanzania and we acquired properties, and over the years we developed those properties with private funding. Then we moved that property into a new company called Midlands Minerals Corporation, which we took public.
Okay.
Now what has happened since then, we have now kept this company, Sika Resources, and we are starting it again and going to do the same thing with it as we did before, and we'll use this, though, as the public company, and God willing, within a year, do an IPO on the properties we're acquiring. And we've already are in the middle of finishing off the negotiations on 3 properties in Tanzania. We're going to stay in Tanzania, at least initially, because we do have the experience there with both the government, how it works with the people there. It is easy to work with them politically, and because of that, we can acquire properties, develop them, and we can acquire good properties. We looked at more than 10 properties. The government is very, very nice to us, so to speak. They like cooperating with us because we have the experience of many years of working with them. And now we have looked at the properties. There are 3 that we have isolated that are better properties, and we're going to finish the negotiation with them and then go forward. And now we're raising enough money just to get that started so that within a year we can do an IPO.
Fabulous. That's fabulous. So right now, so it's not a publicly traded company right now. You're talking about a few months. Now, can we talk a little bit about how you raised funds then through the company being a private company?
Well, all through our friends, through clients of my practice. I am a chartered accountant in Canada, and their friends went to their friends, and also our families. So it's always been sort of a private little group, and then we expanded it, and when it went public, then everyone came into it.
Can get involved, right?
Yeah, at this point, instead of just our families and friends with Sika, we've already still have those people in there. What we've done is, this is our first venture into doing a show under this banner.
Fabulous.
And now we're going to raise some money here, and we're going to go forward with this with private money, but money from outside of just our inside friends and family.
Right. So obviously the goal, as we said a moment ago, is to take the company public, and it is gold in Tanzania. Now, again, you know, I interviewed Kim a little while ago, and she made a big point too about the fact that government's very friendly when it comes to mining. Can you outline maybe a couple of the reasons why that is? I mean, is it a former is it a Commonwealth country? So they've got the British laws.
It was Tanganyika, and also they had Zanzibar off the coast, which is primarily an Arabic country, and they speak Arabic. And they merged in the 60s, And as we're going forward, it's sort of an emerging nation. Because if you take a look at a lot of the countries in Africa, they've been mapped, they've been populated, but Tanzania, a great portion of it, wasn't even mapped until the last 15 years. Really? So it's really in sort of a beginning transition stage. So it has a great deal of opportunity. And there is already found in that period of time between 40 and 50 million ounces of gold, with some major gold deposits such as Geita and Bulyanhulu in the 15 to 20 million ounce range. And these are all in the Lake Victoria gold fields. Now, the properties that we're acquiring, we're specifically acquiring them within those structures. So all three of the properties that we've chosen and are finishing the negotiation with are there. Now, why Tanzania is good, and sometimes a little bit better than many of the other countries, is because if one goes to Ghana, by example, although politically stable, when you go to a property, you have the rights to exploit the gold on the property. When you go to Tanzania, because they're really just started in the whole mineral resource industry, they don't know what's there, so you can take anything you want. Whatever you find, that's okay. Wow. It's yours. So you have a significantly greater latitude in what is available. Like, it's very possible we'll be looking for gold, as we did in Midlands Minerals in the Italima project, and we found diamonds. We found gold, but next to it were diamonds. So if we do, and historically Tanzania, on one side of it, there are kimberlites. Now, we're away from that area, but you never know what you're going to find. But you can exploit any mineral, and I don't mean exploit it from a bad point of view.
That's right.
You know, it's for the benefit of the country. It is an emerging country. It is less than 50 years old. And because of that, it is really sort of coming into its own today. It is very new.
So, for investors who are interested, we talked about the fact that it's not publicly traded right now. Hopefully, when PDAC comes around this year in March, it will have already received its IPO and you would be going public. And those of you that are checking out this broadcast can probably buy shares at that time, hopefully.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point in time, we're starting out at 5 cents on a share as a unit with an 8-cent warrant. So that gives the opportunity to people coming in at the initial stage to be in a position to do very well going forward. Because right now, we do not have a great deal of overhead, as we did in the public company. We don't have a lot of expenses. We do have expenses, but we do have a geologist on staff, and we have Kim and myself with our past background in public companies and experience in Tanzania. And based on that, God willing, we're going to find some good results in the very, very near future. We are scheduled to commence our sampling the end of November. Within 6 to 8 weeks, we'll be sampling, and 6 to 8 weeks after that, we'll already have some results on the sampling, initial sampling. Then we'll tighten up the grid based on what we found, and then go forward on the next stage of fundraising.
Well, that sounds amazing, Paul. I want to remind the viewers that you are watching InvestorToday.ca. I'm your host, Dave Glover. InvestorToday.ca is brought to you in conjunction with RBL Communications. We're standing here talking to Paul Singer, who is the CFO of Sika Resources, Inc. That's www.sikaresources.com. You can check them out on the internet, and hopefully when you go public, you can get in on that. It's obviously a deal where you can get right in on the ground floor. And thanks again, Paul.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for tuning in to InvestorToday.ca.